Today we're going to be doing packet tracer 6.2.2.4. So let's go ahead and get started. It says looking at the topology diagram, how many networks are there in total? So right here you have 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then 5. So there's 5 total networks. Next question, how many networks are directly connected to R1, R2, and R3? So R1 has 2 devices connected to it directly. R2 has 2 devices connected to it directly, and R3 has 3 devices. Okay. And then next one, it says test connectivity to the R2 and R3 LANs by pinging PC2 and PC3 from PC1. So we're going to go to PC1. Wait for it to open. Alright, you go to your desktop, command prompt, and then we're going to go get the IP address. So let's try PC2 first. So we're going to type in ping, and then 172.31.0.254. Hit enter, and it should fail. So they're telling us that it's gonna fail. So there it is. It says request timed out. And the reason for that is because no other routes, no static routes have been set up. Alright, let's move on. Part 2. What is a recursive static route? A recursive static route routes the next route in order for packets to be sent to their destination. Then it says, why does a recursive static route require 2 routing table lookups? And then it requires one for the routing table for the destination network, and then one for its own network. Okay. It says configure a recursive static route to every network not directly connected to R1, including the WAN link between R2 and R3. Okay, so we're going to exit out of here. I'm going to go to R1. And then you go in your CLI, hit enter, and then type in en conft IP route 172.1.0.255.255.255.255.0, and then 172.3.1.193. Alright, so now go ahead, press enter. And then our next route is going to be 172.31.1.196. Oh, don't forget to type in IP route. Alright, then our subnet mask 255.255.255.252. And then 172.31.1.193. Alright, press enter. Okay. And then our last one, IP route 172.31.1.128. Subnet mask 255.255.255.255. 255.252 and 172.31.1.193. Okay, go ahead, press enter. Oh, there's too many periods there. Alright. And that was our last recursive route. So now we're gonna move on to the next step. Go on to step 2. It says configure directly attached static routes on R2. And it says, how does a directly attached static route differ from the recursive static route? A directly attached static route relies on its exit interface in order for packets to be sent to its destination, while a recursive route uses the IP address of the next hop router. Okay, B says configure a directly attached static route from R2 to every network not directly connected. So we're going to go to R2. And then you open your CLI. Okay, press enter. Type in en, conft, then IP route 172.31.1.0, subnet mask 255.255.255.128. And now you type in serial 0/0/0. Okay, let me just double check this. And then go ahead, press enter. Alright, now we move on to the next one. It's going to be IP route 172.31.1.128, and then subnet mask 255.255.255.192, and type in serial 0/0/1. Hit enter. Oh, hold on, misspelled serial. Alright, there we go. Okay, the next part is letter C. It says which command displays directly connected networks, and that's going to be show IP connector or show IP connected. That's going to be show IP route connected. Letter D says which command only displays the static routes listed in the routing table. It's going to be show IP route static. Okay, E. When viewing the entire routing table, how can you distinguish between a directly attached static route and a directly connected network? And that's because the static route has an S and the directly connected network has a C. Now, step 3. How does the default router differ from regular static routes? Alright, so I'm not going to answer all of these, that would take a long time. But we'll go ahead and move on to step B. Configure default route on R3 so every network not directly connected is reachable. So exit out of R2 and then go to R3 for your CLI and then type in en conft and type in IP route zeros, so all zeros, 4 zeros, and then another set of 4 zeros, and then those were O's. So and then type in serial 0/0/1. Hit enter. Alright, and then what that does is pretty much allows everything to go through it. And how is the static route displayed on the routing table? And that's show IP route static. So let's see if we can do that right now. So now it says to write a specified route from R3 to the network between R2 and R1. Do not configure the route, just calculate it. And then you type in en conf t IP route 172.1.1.192 and 255.255.255.252, then SE, so serial 0/0/0, 0/0/1 and 172.31.1.197.